Gotta have that. Got to have the hand sanitizer this day and age of COVID. What's up, y'all? It's me, Ed Lover. Welcome to the live. As promised, today I'm waiting for my very, very special guest, DJ, Mr. Level 10 himself, DJ Jus, is going to be joining me. It's going to be probably a good idea for me to put on a darker shirt so I can see all of you guys, all of you guys comments and questions and anything that you have for Jus. He should be joining me in about 2 minutes. In the meantime, in between time, let me find another shirt to put on. I'll be right back. Okay, that's better. Now I can actually see the comments. That white shirt, the white balance, was throwing it off horribly. It is 5 o'clock on the dot. I am waiting on my man, Mr. Level 10 himself, DJ Jus. Once again, thanks and welcome to everybody who is tuned in for this live interview today. For those of y'all who might not know DJ Jus, he's Bow Wow's DJ for the Scream Tour, for all the tours, so he can give us some insight to what it's like. He is one of the youngest DJs that I ever met. He started when he was 2 years old. So we'll get into that. What he's up to now, he was on Growing Up Hip Hop for a while. He's done a lot of stuff. So I'm just waiting on, and he's only 30, y'all. So I'm waiting on the young guru, the young god from Queens. There go my daughter, Jazz. Hey, Jazz. Jazz, get your client on the live. He's late. But superstars tend to be late, so it's all good. While I'm waiting for Jus, just want to say rest in peace to my man, Andre Harrell, man. It's a big loss for the music business. Andre Harrell was, wow. Andre Harrell was a tree with a lot of branches, y'all, and a lot of branches bear a lot of fruit. So big up to Andre all the time, man, and we're going to miss him, man. He's so damn cool, just so cool with everything that he did. For all you Brandy fans out there, at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, that's on the East Coast, 6 o'clock Central, 4 o'clock on the West Coast, Brandy will be joining me on Instagram Live, but on a different page. It's the radio station that I work for, 1043 Jams. She will be joining me on that page. So go to 1043 Jams, Jams, 7 o'clock here where I'm at on the East Coast, 6 o'clock in the Midwest, 4 o'clock on the West Coast. Brandy will be joining me for an exclusive interview and talk about the new music that she got with Chance the Rapper and everything else. So Brandy's going to be joining me at 7 o'clock. I just got off a conference call, and this COVID-19 thing, man, is just really crazy. So the manager of Intercom Chicago had all of us on there and just talking about how we doing, how we're working from home. I'm working from home. When is there a possibility at all we'll get back into the studio? It's a lot. It really is a lot, man. Yeah, the Ed Lover Morning Show is doing very, very well. And there is DJ Jus. Here he is, Mr. Level 10. And we just should be here in a minute. Can't wait to talk to him. Jus!
Yo, yo.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Mr. Level 10 himself.
What up?
Straight from Fubu Radio, right off a tour in a country near you, the one and only DJ Jus. How you doing, brother?
Yeah, what's good? What's going
Long
on?
time no see. How you been? Everything's good?
Everything's good, man. Always blessed to see you.
You too, my brother. Just let me ask you a question right off top. You started at a young age. You were like 2 years old, I think, or 3 maybe. Well, maybe when the first time I saw you on turntables, you might have been 3. What attracted you to that? What was it about the turntables and being a DJ that attracted you?
Man, just being a kid and seeing something actually happening in front of you every day. My dad, him DJing and having his friends over, and they was just having sessions and physically seeing the turntables actually move. A kid is gonna go over there and mess with it regardless. So I would go over there and mess with it, and and then he's taught me, and then that's how we got it rolling.
So your dad actually taught you the functionality of what a turntable was supposed to do, how to mix, and all of that.
Yeah, he taught me all of that. He taught me the basics. He taught me the basic stuff. And then as I got older, I started linking up with a lot of different DJs and a lot of, big OG DJs in the game. And they taught me a lot of stuff too.
Okay, so the base. What was the basics that you learned? Was it how they work, how to stay on beat? Was it just mixing before scratching? What did you learn first?
Nah, what the first thing I learned was how to put the needle on the record.
Okay.
Correctly without it scratching or scratching up the vinyl. That's the first thing I learned, how to put it on correctly. Then I learned the pitch. I start learning the pitch and stuff. Then I start learning the hand movements. Then I start learning the fader.
Right.
But one of the most unique things I learned though, Ed, from that whole process was able to look through the crates and know the records and know the covers, be able to read the covers and be able to pick the record off the album or off the single that I bought.
Right. And the amazing thing that you just said is you learned how to put a needle on an actual record. Yes. A lot of people coming through right now, they've never touched a real pair of turntables.
Exactly.
You come from the era of being so young. There's probably a lot of, you being 30, there's a lot of 30-year-old DJs right now who's never put a needle on a record. You come from that era of knowing what record to pull, where the records are, how to pull the records, how to play the records. So you came from that era where people actually learned how to DJ, like from the beginning of the early stages of DJing.
Mm-hmm. True. I've been there from the Technique 12s. I had the Geminis, man, from the beginning. Like when I was 2, you gotta think about it. I'm 2, maybe like the average DJ is probably like 20 going on 30.
Right.
And I'm the youngest one around there, just knowing how to operate the stuff, and I'm able to DJ on both sides and know how to blend and know how to listen to the music and what to listen for. So that's special.
Was there ever a time early in your DJ career when you were just starting out and people would introduce you and say, "Hey man, this is DJ Jus. He's like 4. He DJs," and older dudes was like, "Nah, man, Shorty don't know what he's doing. He ain't gonna scratch my records up."
All the time. That was one of the things, because they didn't. First of all, it's something that never happened before. I was the first one to ever do it, like at a young age, at that age,
right,
on the record. So when I was going and being with these other dudes and these other DJs, they was like, "Nah, little man, nah, he not getting on. Nah, he not DJing." But when they finally gave me a shot, I had the works. Like I was ready. I was prepared all the time.
Right.
So it surprised a lot of people too.
So when you came through, Jus, a lot of people probably thought that this was a novelty for you. That this is something, oh, he's cute now, but he'll grow out of it. What was it about it that here we are 28 years later and you still love it just as much as you did when you first learned how to do it? What made you stick to it?
Listen, man, DJing is all I know. Like, that's my strength. Like, that's what I know. We can talk about whatever in the world. I know DJ. So that's something that I always love to do. I love controlling crowds. I was able to take it, learning from being on the basement, taking it to being on radio, taking it on tour. So I've seen all different types of levels where DJing could go. That kept me wanting to stay with it.
Right, because you did do other, you had your outside activities. You played Springfield Rifles football with
Yeah.
my cousin Gary, God rest his soul, was the coach and was your manager for a while.
Yes.
You did all of that, but the one steady thing in your life has always been being behind the set. What is it about being behind the set that you enjoy so much?
That's who I am. That's one. That's who I am. Without learning from a young age and having that gift, I don't know what I would be doing right now. And I say this all the time. DJing, it changed everything for me.
Wow.
It changed everything for me. So that's really why I stay behind there and rock out. I'm really just true to the sport. I think DJing is dope. I think it's gonna keep evolving. So I might as well stay true to it. And not a lot of DJs are from my era at my age that's still true to turntables and even having headphones on. I see DJs with no headphones on.
Right.
Like I don't understand that shit. Like, cause me, I want to know what's coming on in the next song. I want to know what it sounds like before I put it out to the public or to the world. You know what I mean? So just little things like that just always kept me going.
Well, there's a lot of DJs out there just that study their cue points, so they know what all their cue points are in a record. Do you find it's easier now because of this technology for people to call themselves a DJ? And how do you feel about people that's just jumping in and mashing buttons and calling themselves a DJ?
All right. Well, most definitely, I think that it's way more easier, with the technology. Because I have cue points. I love my cue points. But as far as I know on the other side how to really pick up the needle again, hear it, put it right there on the bridge or to the break where I want it to go. So
right.
I mean, it's kind of weird to me. But for all the DJs that are coming around now and just pressing buttons, man, like I don't have nothing against them really. But it's like, man, if a DJ, this is what a DJ does. So whatever documentaries, whatever you came up, however you grew up, a DJ is behind the turntables with an MC and he's rocking out. This press button stuff is just a little weird to me. But I guess
a little
works.
weird to me also because, as you know, I've been DJing since I was probably about 13 or 14 when there was big sound systems, and I had to learn to carry the records first for the party, and then they would let me come down there and try to practice maybe one day of the week. And I come from an era where you didn't cut the words off just to go to another song. It seemed like everybody got HDD. They want to hear that much of a record. You didn't have to play 250 records in a 2-hour period because people enjoyed the entire record and they waited for the break and they waited for their part in the record to sing out and sing along with the record. It's almost now you put a half a Drake verse on and then you off to the next record, which is amazing to me, but that's what it is. That's what it is.
Yeah.
If that's what the kids like, that's for them. And that's not for grown folks like me. But you come from an era where really professionally. For me, DJing has always been, okay, I'm going to take a few gigs, I'm a DJ. And then when these DJs started doing these clubs for $100 and a look on a flyer, and our price went down as DJs, I was like, I'm getting ready. Let me get on this and do this stand-up comedy because I know I can do that. And I can't depend on this. This is your livelihood, dude.
Yeah.
How does that affect you when you're going out as DJ Jus? You've been on tour, and we'll talk about your tours and with Scream Tours and Bow Wow and all that. How does that affect you when you getting undercut by a dude that's willing to play for 9 hours for $60 in a bottle and a hookah?
Listen, that pisses me off all the time. Like to the point where I didn't even want to DJ no more. Like I wanted to go. I was still going to DJ, but I was going to go a whole different route. I was going to start producing. I was going to take it to the next level because it's like, yo, listen, you have a guy coming in like me. I'm coming in. I'm giving you 110% all day.
Mr. Level 10.
Right. I'm giving you 110% all day, and my price is my price. They complain about the price, but they'll go lowball somebody, like they'll go lowball on the other side. Or they'll or they'll say, yo, just I can't book you for this number, but I'm gonna book this other cat and he gonna DJ the whole event for this number.
Right.
Like, what? messing up everything that I had going. Even real promoters that I have relationships with, they're taking the cheaper DJs because they don't want to pay a price for a good DJ, or even if that's just your price, they don't want to do it. They don't understand the business.
Right. But
Yeah,
but when they pay $150 for a DJ that's going to DJ for 8 hours, you're going to get a $150 DJ. Right. That's what you're going to get. You're not going to get a great DJ. You're not going to get an amazing, fantastic person that is a crowd controller, who knows the music, who knows when to play the music, who knows when to hold off on what songs, who could take you on a journey, because really that's what you're doing. The people that come in that's listening to you play, whether it's on Instagram Live, which it is right now, because of the fact that we can't go to the clubs and stuff like that, you're taking them on a musical journey. You're the controller of our feelings.
Right. Correct.
When you're on the set. You notice, because so if you get somebody horrible on the set, you're gonna mess the whole night up, because you got the majority of people mumbling like, "Yo, who hired
this guy?" Right.
Right. He's not ready yet. It's just because you want to save a couple of bucks, and then you try to figure out why people don't want to come back to anything when you're promoting it, because you keep bringing in trash DJs.
Right. You bringing in your friend, your homeboy, somebody that just started. You want to give him a look because you got a platform, which is cool. Which is cool, but that doesn't help your party. That doesn't please the party goers that's coming out to support you.
Right. And on the other side of that, actual guys who are out there starting to DJ, start on your level, bro. Stop undercutting. I can't stand that, because they just, it's blatantly being done now, because I know it was done to me. And that's why I was just like, you know what? My set is my set. I always keep a set at home. When I'm stressed, I'm going to go DJ. All right. So, because it was this known, how much Jus want? And then the guy told me, no, I do it for you. Put my face on the flyer. It's a look for me and a hookah and give me a bottle.
Yep.
Because one day you hope to get to a level of a Jus, and you don't want somebody coming behind you undercutting you.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Now, when you to go back a little further into your illustrious career that you've had so far, you were shorty and you were signed to Biv 10. How did that come about?
Yo, that was crazy.
Michael Bivins from New Edition, for all you people too young to know about. Biv 10 had Another Bad Creation, and he had Boys II Men, and he had Subway, right?
Yeah,
Subway,
yep.
Right? I believe 702. 702 came out of Mike's camp.
Yeah.
They had a lot of great music. Shout out to Michael Bivins from New Edition all the time. How did you guys become? You were part. What was it? It was DJ Jus and Little Neek. Were you guys signed, or was it part of the Biv 10 All Stars?
Listen, it was DJ Jus and Little Neek. Me and Neek, we were a couple already. I mean, we started out, me and Neek, and that's right. Listen, before I get into the story, I always tell Neek to get on the internet and let them know who started this. I'm out here promoting all my stuff. You in the same picture. You got every look that I got, nigga, you got.
Right.
And at least right under the comment, like, yeah, I was there. Like,
absolutely.
He doesn't promote his stuff, and he's a living legend, just like I am.
Right.
But yeah, we'll get to Neek in a minute. But me and Neek started out as a crew. You know, we got our first look. You know, rocking out. Of course, we had our radio show on Hot, thanks to you, sir.
All the time, brother.
We went on to the Apollo. We start moving around doing different things, and I'm not really too sure how the Michael Bivins thing came about, but I know that he was looking for me and Neek. Me and Neek were the forefront for that.
Right.
But Michael Bivins, he's big on groups. He has groups. All his groups were big, even the groups that he actually in. So he said, you know what? I got a kid from here. I got a kid from here. I got a kid from here. And he took people from Boston, LA, certain parts of New York, Detroit, brought them all together and made a super group.
Right.
And it worked out.
The Biv 10 All Stars. Why did that? What happened with that situation? Why didn't it last longer than? Because I thought it was a great idea, and I thought it was gonna blow straight out the water. I thought it was crazy.
Yeah, it was dope. It was so dope. Like, I'd never seen nothing like that before, ever.
Yeah.
We was raw. I posted up a picture on my Instagram of us. Like, man, I wish I could just bring us back for a little.
I ran into Marvin. And he has Another Bad Creation in rehearsals. They're getting ready to jump back out on tour.
Wow.
Yeah, I saw them.
What?
They live down here in Atlanta, yeah. I ran into him. The funny story is I ran into I was somewhere and I ran into Trinidad James. That's when his record Gold Everything was fire. And he was like, yo, man. And I knew one of his boys that was on the road. And he said, yo, Trinidad want to build with you. They're going to be over such and such a playing ball in this gym. And I went over to the gym, and a member of another bad creator, Dave, Little Dave.
Little Dave.
The nigga is Diesel, son.
Wow.
And he was in there playing ball. I could not believe it, man. I hadn't seen him in so long. And then I was at a concert, and I ran into Marv, and Marv put me on FaceTime with them, and they was in the rehearsal studio, all of them, man.
That's dope.
Getting it back together. That was a classic time, man. And those things don't happen anymore. You don't see people have young men and young women and making groups out of them anymore.
Right.
You don't see that anymore. How did you go from Biff 10 All Stars to all the Scream tours and all the stuff with Bow Wow? How did you and Bow Wow even get together?
All right, cool. So this how this happened. After the Biff 10 Period All Star thing stopped, and I'm not really too sure on the business side on what happened with that. I don't know if we had like a one album deal, or I'm not sure what it was. I wasn't handling the business.
Right.
I'm just a young kid showing up.
Yeah, you was a youngin'. Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly. And that's where a lot of shit messed up at, because I ain't have to ask you a question, Ed. I'm just pulling up. Turn it up. You feel what I'm saying? So after that happened, Mel Testamark had reached out to Jermaine Dupri, like they're close friends, and Bow Wow was coming out. They wanted somebody that was already hot, that was out, and that was young to fit Bow's image, because he was getting ready to go on his second tour. Okay. I didn't go on the first Scream tour. I went on Scream tour 2.
Okay.
While Bow was on the first Scream tour, I had the Alicia Keys video. I had Music of the Heart out with Meryl Streep, Gloria Estefan, Angela Bassett. I had Prison Song out.
Hold on, bro. You're moving. You can't just skip over that shit.
Yeah, no, but I'm just saying. I'm just answering the question.
Okay, go ahead. Then we're gonna come back to those.
Yeah, I don't mind. Listen, me and you, we can do this for hours.
Okay.
So at that time, I was popping. I was just in my own right. You know, I was just in my own right. So Jermaine was like, yo, reach out to that kid. Yo, reach out to him. Let's see if he wanna come on tour with Bow. I think it'll be dope. And Mel Testamark was like, yo, I'm telling you, that kid DJ Jus from Queens, New York, he's the one. He's the one. Take him. And then I got a phone call from So Def. I'm outside in front of my house with my boy. I got Q kept with me. Right here. Got kept with me right here. So
that's, man, shout out to Kev. It's my daughter's brother right there.
Yeah. I wore this shirt just for this. You feel what I'm saying? Because it's special. They don't even know, Ed.
Right.
Right. So I get a call in front of the house playing ball, and they go, So Def called the house for you. They want to speak to you. My grandmother tells me this. I run in the house. I get on the phone. I don't even know who I'm talking to or nothing, what to say. All I hear is, yo, I'm going to call you back. Then my dad took over from there. I went back outside to play ball, told everybody, yo, Jermaine Dupri called me, Michael Malden, the whole So Def family, they called me. Not even within 3 days. Bow's DJ, his first DJ, DJ Shakim, the one who passed me the job, he came to my crib, came downstairs in the basement, and I had to do a talent show. I had to do an audition right in front of him. It was between me and another DJ from North Carolina. He came. He was like, yo, we want you. You locked in. You going on tour with Bow. Immediately flew out to Atlanta. Made sure that everything was right, contracts, everything. And that was it from there.
Why did they feel like Shakim was getting a little too old to be Bow Wow's DJ?
Not at that point. Not at that point. What they wanted to do was, Bow, he's a performer. Like, he puts on a good show. Like, he's energetic. He run around. He talk his stuff. So we had took the idea of having 2 DJs. He took that from someone else's set and was like, yo, we need 2 DJs. So we're going to have my DJ that I already have. he's gonna be running the show, playing the music, making
Right.
sure that the show runs right. He's more of the, you know, he's running it. But
Musical
we're gonna
director.
have, right, we're gonna have Jus as the face, the young kid. People know who he is, and he's gonna be my hype man.
Okay.
I just was behind the turntables hyping him up.
Okay.
So I was tapped. I said, all right, cool. All I gotta do is scratch and say, put your hands up, make some noise, and rap. That's it.
Right.
I've been doing that my whole life. Cool. Let's get it done.
Right.
Done.
Because you already, at that time, you're how old?
Right. At that time, I'm 11 years old.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm 11
On the second Scream tour, you was only 11?
Yeah.
Boy, you
Yeah.
put your numbers in, bro. Okay, now let's rewind. Let's go back to, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, your first real look after Biv 10, right? This is after Biv, this is after Biv, this is after you and Neek kind of go your own separate ways.
Yeah.
Was Alicia Keys your first real thing, your first real major
Yep.
look?
Yep.
How did you get that job, bro? Because I was so proud of you when I saw you on that
Alicia
video.
Keys.
Like,
That was a
boy.
real big look. Yo, shout to director Chris Robinson, mastermind. He shot the video. What happened was I was in a lot of videos growing up, you know, and then when we were shooting the movie, Chris came when I was shooting Prison Song. I think at the time, Chris was coming on the set. Like he was coming on the set.
Time out, y'all. Time out. Will you please tell them what your role was in Prison Song? Because you're skipping over this. This wasn't minor. You was with the Queen.
Yeah, I was Mary J. Blige. Mary J. Blige was my mother. I played her son.
Okay, don't skip over that. Okay,
yeah, now we
Mary
gonna
J.
talk about that. Now we gonna
Alicia
talk about
Keys
that.
came after Mary J. Blige. All right.
That's yeah. It was back to back. It was the double whammy. They couldn't stop me. It was the double whammy. I had both of those back to back, whichever way it came.
Right.
So I went out for audition. I auditioned for all my parts. I went out for audition. I walked in for the Alicia Keys video. Before I could even read the line, they was like, "Yo, we want you, shorty. I didn't have to read a line. Yo, we want you. We already know. I already came in there. You know how I used to dress: jersey, headband,
right? Yeah, braids and all that.
I was already fit for the role. I was already fit for the role. Again, something that I was naturally doing. Talking to a girl, yo, what's up, shorty? Can I holler at you? What's going on? Come on. I'm from Queens.
Right.
So it was very organic. Like it was an organic role for me. It was a very organic role. And again, the people that played behind the scenes knew that I was the young prodigy, knew that I was DJ Jus, knew that it would be a good look for me as well. So they kind of put me on a platform too. Like, all right, we're going to help this kid out. We're going to put him with Alicia Keys. I didn't know who A Keys was.
Wow.
I didn't know who she was. And she had records out before. She had Fallen Out. She did records with Jermaine. She had records out before that.
Yeah, because Jermaine had her early when she was signed to Columbia.
He had her first, right?
He had her first, right?
Right. So then when The Woman's Worth came out, and I'm like, and I seen how big Fallen was, I was like, yo, this video is gonna be dope.
Now, did you do the Meryl Streep movie after that?
No, Meryl Streep movie was first.
That was the first one?
That was and see, Ed,
that was before Prison Song?
Yes. See,
big shout out to Kurt Flirt. He's in Prison Song for a half a tick too.
Yes, of course. Shouts to Kurt Flirt. So people forget about this movie, man, and it gets me mad because of the name of the people, the cast. Meryl Streep, Gloria Estefan, Angela Bassett. We had directed by Wes Craven, Jade Yorker, like a bunch of big names in this movie, but it didn't get its proper love. Like it didn't receive its roses. That was my very first movie that I did. I actually went to school. I was going to school every day in Harlem. I really had to learn how to play the violin.
Oh wow!
Yeah, it was a movie about kids in Harlem, violin, you know, white, black. You know how they do it, how they was playing it back.
Yeah, y'all can find it. It's streaming somewhere, man. Make sure y'all check that out. See a little 10-year-old DJ Jus in that joint right there.
Yeah, that was my first one. And then when Prison Song came out, my second one, it was on BET, so it was worldwide, like big. That was the only thing that they was playing. We was the first BET featured film ever.
Right.
So that made it big. And I even felt like that movie should have at least went to the cinemas, man.
Prison Song was a dope movie, bro.
Yeah, man.
Prison Song was a very, very dope movie.
Right.
Okay, so now let's go back. We covered that. We didn't really talk about a lot of your scenes. You had scenes up in against some of the greatest actresses. Angela Bassett and Meryl Streep is like them.
Yeah,
that's like up
come
there,
on,
bro.
That's cream of the crop.
Absolutely.
That's cream of the crop. Being around Meryl, I'm like, what? Like, that was mind blowing. Then seeing Angela Bassett. And the funny thing about the Angela Bassett thing is this: when I went on set,
shout out to Q-Tip, he's in Prison Song too.
Yeah. Shouts to Q-Tip. Yeah, I'm gonna break these movies down.
All right, let's go.
Yeah. So the first joint I did was Music of the Heart, of course. Again, the Music of the Heart. And when I see Angela Bassett, I went up to her and I said, "Yo, you was in Vampire in Brooklyn." right? I say, yo. So, and I'm thinking about just out of all the good movies she's done and all the things she did, you bring up Vampire in Brooklyn and Angela Bassett. She had Waiting to Exhale. She had all types of shit out. I was like, yo, listen, you was in Vampire in Brooklyn, and I thought that movie was real. Like,
that's funny.
Like I had that type of approach, and then again, I'm a 9 or 10-year-old kid.
Right.
I'm a huge Wes Craven fan. I watch all his horror stuff. When I seen him, I'm like, yo, you Freddy Krueger, you that's your stuff?
Yeah.
And I was scared of Wes Craven. I was nervous. I was nervous of him because of that type of movie and stuff like that, and that type of sound. Like, I had a weird vibe when I was next to him.
Right.
But when we started speaking and we started working, he started giving me pointers on how to act and how to look, and we talked about a lot of stuff. And he told me that he broke down a couple of his stories. I asked him, like, you don't got to worry about that. He's not going to mess with you and your dreams. It's just a movie. So, just, you know what I mean? Little stuff like that.
Yeah, because you're like 9 years old. You scared to death.
Yeah, I was nervous. I was nervous. When I did the second movie, when I did Prison Song, again, it was like a hip hop movie, you know, a hip hop class. So it was a little bit more comfortable for me, because I not for nothing, I just did one movie. Now I'm back on this movie, and I got the same kind of role. Both of my movies, I had a good role. Like, I had the main role or the co-main or the co-main. You know what I mean? I had good parts in my movies. So when I went out there, I've met Mary before. So when I met Mary, I'm like, you do movies? Like, I just seen you on stage. Like, you're I didn't know you do this, you know?
Right.
And then they was like, yo, you know, you got Q-Tip in the movie. You gonna play the younger Q-Tip. I'm like, what? How that's gonna work? And it worked out. And, you know, Noriega, Fat Joe, like all these celebs, these are people that I grew up around Fat Joe and Pun when I was young. I know Nori from Queens. Like, again, I'm still a hip hop DJ now. I'm the young legend.
Right.
Now we just on camera. So I already had organic relationships or even a moment with everybody that I've worked with.
Right.
The person that I didn't know about that I slept on was my Uncle C. And he was in I can't think of his name. That's terrible. But he played in Oz. He was fresh off of Oz.
Okay.
I didn't know who he was. So they was like, yo, he basically gonna be like, you know, your dad, your uncle, your mentor. And I'm like, oh, word? What he do? I started doing my research on him and seeing how much stuff he was into. Me and him got cool, and we start chilling.
Right.
So that movie was cool. And I also did Brown Sugar. I had a cameo in Brown Sugar.
That's right. You sure did.
I had a cameo on Brown Sugar. I actually auditioned for that movie, but they said I was too old. I think they said I was too old for the role at the time.
Oh, okay.
I had auditioned for that. I auditioned for the main part that Mark John went for.
Okay, and then Mark goes on to play Little C's and Notorious and a whole lot of other stuff that Mark was in. Such an accomplished, great actor, young actor he is, man. You've done a whole lot of stuff, man. Let's go back to you jumping on the Scream tour with Bauer. What's that experience like the first time you ever stepped out on that stage? What was that like?
I was I was I was nervous. I was nervous the first time.
But
I
that
was
energy is unlike any energy I've ever seen before in my life.
That's what it was. Cause again, Ed, I've been in large crowds. Me
Mm-hmm.
and Nick were going to Japan doing showcases in front of 100,000 people, but it wasn't people chanting and screaming and reciting and buying tickets and selling this out for the person that you're working with. I was with Bow. So
Right.
I'm like, I go out on stage, they screaming for me before he even come out.
Right.
They just going crazy. They going crazy. I've never witnessed nothing like that before in my life, man. So, but as soon as the music hit, it left me. I was ready to go.
Right.
It was turn up time.
But
But
that
I've
has to
never
be
experienced no shit
a
like that.
different feeling because you guys are young, really young, and you guys are stars. Did they keep a lot of people around you guys at all times to keep y'all? I mean, the girls I had to wear earplugs. I'm trying to describe this to people the best way I know how. And the best way I know how to do it is because I toured with Crisscross,
Big
right?
tour.
And
See, I
that
want
was
to do shit
major
like that.
tour. I toured with Crisscross for a while, and thank you to Jermaine for putting that money in my pocket for so many years. And it was myself, MC Light, and the Far Side. Shout out to DJ Nabs too, and Crisscross. And Crisscross was the headliner,
Hard.
but they also had Light, Far Side,
Mm-hmm.
myself. You know, different people come through. But the Scream tour was from the time the lights went out in the arena.
Yeah.
I had to wear earplugs. It was constant, constant, constant screaming, screaming, screaming. That's why they called it the Scream Tour, because those
Yeah.
young ladies went crazy. I
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
Crisscross's audience was a little bit younger than your audience at that time.
For real?
Yeah, because I think on that Scream Tour, I saw, even though y'all were young, Bow Wow was attracting 14, 15,
Yeah, yeah.
16.
Yeah, that's his age. Like
Right,
Val's 3 years,
17-year-old
Val's 3 years
girls,
older than me.
right? They were a lot younger with Crisscross. They were a lot younger. Me and Nabs used to laugh all the time about the Crisscross tour. It was me, God rest his soul, Todd won. Todd was on there, and me and Nabs, and that was the crew. Like the older guys just always try to find something to do in that town if we had an overnight. So what I'm trying to ask you is, being how you got all of these young ladies and their hormones are raging and going crazy, and you're on stage with Bow Wow, how did they keep you guys? Was there always somebody around y'all to kind of keep that maniacal crowd off of y'all?
Oh yeah, we had a good call, a great call.
Was there a lot of nights that you guys would finish the show and get right on the tour bus and be
Yeah,
gone?
yeah, plenty of nights. We'll as soon as the show is done, even if we just stay backstage and chill in the locker room for a while, wait for everybody to clear out and get on the road. We will stay in certain cities, like the hot cities, if we have like an after party or we want to go to a skating ring. You gotta think about it. We little kids, so it ain't much we can really do. We going skating rings, we shutting the mall down, we doing stuff like that, renting scooters.
Wait a minute, because I've experienced that with Crisscross. So on the Scream Tour, y'all are coming in from one city, you're getting into the next city early, right?
Mm-hmm.
You got sound check, and you have all of this time between this actual show and the sound check. So maybe y'all like, yo, let's hit the mall. How many security are y'all taking with the mall to y'all?
Listen, we taking it takes the whole mall security to come with us. Like, we have our own. Val probably had like 1 or 2 security guards maximum, just his personal. But
Right.
when we go to the mall, we have to call ahead and tell them, listen, Bow Wow's coming into the mall. We probably coming with the rest of the tour too. We come and shop. We gonna shut the mall down. We gonna go eat in the food court.
Who was on that tour? That first tour that you jumped on, Bow Wow was headlining, right?
Bow Wow was headlining. B2K, IMX. Yeah, yeah. Bow Wow, B2K, IMX, which is also known as Immature for y'all.
Right.
You know what I mean? Immature. And we had an opening.
And the opener could change. It was Sammy sometimes, right?
Nah, they didn't come. Ed, they didn't come out for another 2 years.
Wow.
They didn't get on the road for another 2 years. Because then right after that happened, right after the Scream Tour 2 happened, Bow and Jermaine and, you know what I mean, the label stuff, they go their separate ways. Bow does the Bow Wow Unleashed tour without me. Him and Shakim do their own stuff.
Okay.
Scream Tour, nah, we want Jus. Now I become the official tour DJ. Now I'm DJing in between the acts, in between the breaks, introducing.
Okay.
You feel? So
Shakim is now behind Bow Wow solo on the Unleashed tour, and you're the DJ that's keeping everything moving from one to the other. Wow.
Yeah, right.
Wow.
And on that tour, that was a good tour. We had Nick Cannon on that tour.
Okay.
We had Mario on that tour. We had B2K headlined the tour. Who else was on that tour with us? Was it Young Jock? It was a couple names on that tour that was cool. It was a couple.
And what we talking? 30 cities, 40 cities?
Yeah, like 30, 40 cities every time.
Places you never been to in your life, you never thought existed, little small towns that you never even thought of. Y'all got the Civic Center on lock, and it's just crazy.
Word.
It's just crazy. I've only witnessed a couple of things like that in my life. One was Menudo when they first came out. I remember being in the city, and my God, it was like, you know, like I couldn't believe it. Crisscross was unfreaking believable, and it was the same thing with them. If we left and said, "Hey, we going to the mall," we have to call and say, "Listen, I'm coming to the mall. Jermaine is Crisscross. We coming to go do some shopping." And they got to bring 6-7 security because they're going to kill them, little boys, right? And that Scream tour with Bow Wow was unbelievable. B2K, when they first came out and they would come to the radio station, all the girls knew when they was coming and be 1,000 to 2,000 girls downstairs. The police got to barricade them off.
Yeah.
That was just and of course, I just did this a couple of weeks ago with Donnie Wahlberg from New Kids on the Block. That was another level.
Zach?
New Kids on the Block?
Yeah.
Oh my God, bro.
I've heard.
Bro.
I've heard.
Like I didn't even understand how you could stay sane after that, man. Yo, I just maybe it might have been 2 years ago before this whole pandemic hit. Here in Atlanta on the So Def anniversary tour.
Yeah.
It didn't last that long, bro. What happened?
Man, JD, he tried to put the tour out. You know, he tried to put the tour out. Diddy went on his tour. You know what I mean? So we figured we can go out and do our own tour.
Right, I got the hat and everything. He gave me the 20th anniversary
hat. Yeah. Listen,
I cornered them, got 2 of them joints. Give me another hat, Jay. That's my man forever, though.
Yeah. We always ready to go. Was ready to go out, but I think that behind the scenes they didn't have it well put together. Like as far as like the sales wasn't doing.
Okay.
Certain artists was pulling out stuff like that. So Jermaine was just like, you know what? Let's just do a show. Here, let's do a show in Atlanta. Let's sell out the State Farm in Atlanta. We saw the State Farm, and that was it. But it didn't catch no flame. I don't know what it was.
I would have thought that would have been a 50, 60 city tour, man, myself, because the show at the State Farm Arena was so dope. It was so great. It was so well put together, and Michael Malden and Bobby and them know how to do a tour.
Right.
They've been doing this for years.
Right.
So this ain't nothing new to them. So I don't know. Maybe it was an artist thing, and you know, it's always come down to money at some point.
Yeah, of course. And I thought it was gonna be a dope idea. I'm like, yo, you got all your artists on tour. We're gonna be traveling, and then you could bring your special guests out. We know you got Mariah. We know you got Usher. But we was gonna give them that. We was gonna give them all of those surprises and stuff on separate nights. You know, on separate nights. But we didn't want to sell it like that. We wanted to just sell it so Def. We didn't want to sell it Usher, Mariah Carey, you know what I mean, JD and artists or JD and friends with So Def. We wanted to just sell it.
Jagged Edge and all of that.
Yeah,
man.
Jagged Edge,
Escape,
Anthony Hamilton. Like, Come on, that's just to name a few.
Right.
You got Bow. You got he had artists like Jaquan, Bone Crusher, Franchise
Yes.
Boys, Young Bloods.
Right. It just
Man,
it all fell apart. That Diddy Bad Boy tour ain't last that long either. I
yeah,
guess
but at
too
least
many.
Diddy was able to do a couple shows though.
Yeah.
He was able to experience it, even if it stopped. I just wanted to experience it. Everybody together like that. Brad, Jagged, like that's crazy. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Absolutely, bro. Absolutely. And Brat, one of my favorite people. I introduced her to JD during the Crisscross tour, and the rest is history. So big shout out to Dawn Hendricks, who was managing Brat at the time, man. It was really good to see her develop. And then despite everything that happened to her, with her being imprisoned and all that, still come back and have the kind of stellar career that she's having right
Yeah.
now. And I saw her in Chicago, and she did a little birthday party in Chicago, and she was like, yo, everybody, Ed, come up here on the stage. Ed, this is one of the people that's responsible for my entire career. Ed introduced me to Jermaine during the Crisscross tour, had me rap. I told Jermaine, I said, you got to hear this girl rap, man. And she rapped, and Jermaine and her connected, and Dawn and everybody, and boom. And it was like, wow. She was like the first female rap artist to go platinum, right?
Yeah,
Solo.
yeah, that's a fact.
Yeah.
Brat
Solo.
Tat
Big shout
Tat.
out to Brat.
Brat is hard.
Town
I
finest,
love
Brat
Brat.
Tat Tat. And, Jermaine always had that golden touch, man. Like golden touch. I would really love to see somebody like you, man, and maybe Bow, man, put your heads together and grab the next one, man. Who's that next young cat? Because it's almost like there's no room for somebody 11 or 12 years old. And there's a whole audience that would love to hear them.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm quite sure it's a lot of talent out there. I'm quite sure it's a lot of talent out there. We really just got to, again, put our heads together and do our homework and really see what's going on and who's out there. As far as me, just being in New York, minded and,
Right.
everybody got beef. So you can't reach out. You can't reach out to this person without this next person feeling away. You can't link up with this side because this person gonna feel away, and then you lose tie.
Oh man,
everybody else. So because I'm even looking to take my stuff to the next level like that, as far as looking for artists and
right. Well, you said just and you should produce and you should do remixes and you should do anything your heart desire, because I'm just quoting what I just saw somebody wrote right here on the page. Somebody said DJ Jus actually really is growing up hip hop. And you are. You grew up hip hop, bro.
Yes. Yeah. I really grew up in it.
Are you still doing Fubu Radio, man? Tell me about that.
Yeah, Fubu Radio is dope. Again, I'm gonna give y'all a recap for those who don't know. I started out on Fubu. I started out as a Fubu kid. Me and my partner Lil Neek, we were the official Fubu kids.
Absolutely.
Everywhere we went, we was
had print ads and everything. Let's not forget that.
Yeah, yes.
When I was doing Lugs, he was doing Fubu.
Yeah. Real talk. Yep, that's real talk. So Keith Parent, he's running the Fubu Radio branch, and they had like a relaunch that they were doing for their clothes.
Mm-hmm.
And it came across my phone, and I said, let's go to it. I went over there. I touched bases with everybody. All 4 members were there. They see me. They lost their mind just like I lost my mind. And then we start talking about Fubu Radio. I'm like, yo, Keith, man, I would love to be a part of what's going on. Like,
right.
It don't have to just be the clothes. I'll do the radio thing too, because I always wanted to get back on radio. I wanted to get back. I wanted that chance to get back on radio. So I said, you know what? I'm going to do this. I didn't know that they was meeting up with iHeart and building their own studio from scratch. I never knew this. I just was like, yo, I'll submit my mixes and just let me know when y'all ready.
Right.
So now I go for a meeting and go meet Keith at Fubu, at the joint. And he has a show going on up there. Keith brings me up on the show and was like, yo, just spin real quick. And then his co-host was talking. Yo, just spin again. By the time that was done, it was a whole hour of a show that was already done.
Right.
He said, yo, I like y'all two together.
Right.
Welcome to Fubu Radio. Let's make it happen.
Right.
All I need from you is to do this, and it's done. I fulfilled that. Now I'm Fubu Radio.
Yeah, Fubu has been such a brand and such a standard brand in our hearts and minds for so very long, man. That is good to see everybody continuing. And I think it's just a great marriage between yourself and Fubu. It just makes sense because,
Yeah,
as somebody said before, you grew
yeah,
up hip hop. Just and I are very, very, very closely related, more so than people actually know.
yes,
Justin's sister is my daughter. It's complicated. My wife had a baby with Justin's father, and
yeah,
that's Justin's sister, Jasmine. Shout out to Jazz, who's handling all of Justin's PR. And I ended up marrying my beautiful wife, Vanessa, who's also like a mom to you, always has
yes.
been,
Love
right?
you.
And that's
Yes,
how Justin and
yeah.
I are now. That shirt that he has on of Kepler, that's my first daughter, Tiffany's little brother, and him and Kepler just like this. So we are just absolutely family, married into family, love each other, know Justin. He's a real little kid,
Yeah.
man. We're from Queens. This is how we do, bro. Tell me what do you think growing up in Queens meant to you as who you are as a man right now?
Everything, 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 man. I love the neighborhood. You know, I love being from here, man. You know, it's just a vibe. It's just a vibe. I can't really picture myself being from anywhere else. And I ask my boys all the time. Like, we'll be driving through the city. I'll be like, yo, what if we was from Staten Island, bro? Like, how would we be? Like, when we be lit?
Wu-Tangish?
Yeah, like when we be lit, we not really. What if we was from Harlem? Like, how would we be? But yo, listen, everything about this borough, man, this is it. Like, this is it. They gave me my start. They welcome me with open arms. I'm comfortable here. I love Queens. And everywhere I go, you know I'm from Queens. I rep it all the time.
Absolutely.
Big Queens.
Big Queens, because Queens was always the underdogs, man.
Yeah.
Back in the early days of hip hop, we used to go to the Fun House and all that stuff like that. Queens was and Long Island was always quiet. Brooklyn and Harlem and even Staten Island was quiet because you know you had Uptown and Harlem and the Bronx and the boogie down with the X's and Brooklyn was always the wild dudes, and then they used to always tease us and say we was from y'all from way out there, y'all from the desert. That's how Desert Storm came about for cluing them, because they used to always say we lived in the desert because we was too fair zone and all of that other stuff. The way we had to operate in Queens. So you know,
got the name like that. That's how
the pressure from the hip hop community that we got, that makes diamonds, man. You know, we the home of Nas, we the home of Run DMC, we the home of Marley Marl, we the home of 50 Cent, we the home of Nicki Minaj, we the home of the Lost Boys. You understand what I'm saying? We the home of Kid and Play. We the home of Salt and Pepper. Some of the most iconic Cool G rapping Polo. Some of the most Noriega, Drink Champs, straight Queens dude. All day. Me. I'm Queens. Yeah, I'm a king from Queens. It's tatted on my arm right here, bro. I wear that LL. Come on, the GOAT LL Cool J from Farmers Boulevard, man. Sweet Tea, Queens all day long. So putting that Herbie Azo, who gave us Salt and Pepper, Dana Dane, and all of them. He's from Queens. All of that pressure. Kwame is from Queens. Putting all that pressure on us, I think just made it. When we blew, we was just like, you know what? Bam. DJ Clue's from Queens.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Old boy from Who Kid is from Queens. Old boy that's on the Breakfast Club right now. Envy is a Queens kid.
From Queens. Yeah, he Queens too. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I think it's just. It was something about Stephen A. Smith on First Take It from Hollis,
from
Queens.
Yeah, he's from
Hollis. That's right. So stop playing. You know what I mean? So I just think it was a lot of different things, man. A lot of things people don't know. Young MC is from Hollis.
Young MC's from Hollis?
Young MC is from Hollis, Queens, bro. Word is bond. Young MC is from Hollis. Yes, you got Ja Rule. You got Irv Gotti. You know what I'm saying? You got all this Shanti being from Long Island, but that's still, you know,
Lost Boys,
all of that, bro. All of that pressure, man, on us built us into the people that we are, because we was able to see everything that was going on, not being so encapsulated like certain boroughs that can only see their borough. We were able to enjoy everything, and we were able to absorb it and take a little of this, a little of that, a little of this, a little of that. And make it, you know, and make it what it was, bro. What is the future for Mr. Level 10, man? What's next? What do you want to do that you haven't done, or something you haven't done in a long time? What you want to do?
Man, I got so much stuff, man. So much ideas cooking up that I want to work on. One of the things that I'm really gonna put my focus into is teaching kids how to DJ.
That's dope.
Yeah, I'm gonna start a class and teach kids how to DJ from the ages 6 to 16.
Okay.
I want to start off small, but I want to be hands-on. I don't want to do it virtually. So even if I gotta wait till 2021 to launch, I'm gonna wait because I want to be hands-on with these kids. I want to teach them the basics, all the stuff that I learned. Now because I was a student. Now that I'm a teacher, I want to teach what's taught, what I've been taught. You know, so
yeah.
I want to do that for the kids. That's like one of my biggest things, because DJing is something that I'm very good at. So
Absolutely.
I want to give it back to the youngins and to the people that look up to me. Eventually, I'll open it up for older people as well. But I really want to do it for the kids because I was a kid doing it. You know,
and somebody taught you, so pay it forward, brother. Pay it forward.
Right.
Pay it forward. I can't wait for these new DJ Mr. Level 10 remixes and everything that you got coming.
Yeah.
You know, we've talked about certain things that we'll keep off of Instagram Live right now.
Yeah, of
that
course.
I think would be good for you moving forward.
Yeah, I'm also working on a clothing line.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm working on the clothing line. More of a like an athletic line, kind of like an Under Armour kind of thing.
Right.
It's gonna be level 10 right here.
Okay.
It's gonna be my logo. And
okay.
You know, just comfortable wear, sweatsuits, your t-shirts, nothing too crazy, just really more comfortable, relaxed gear, but good quality stuff. So that's in the works. I have a documentary that I'm working on.
Okay.
I'm working on my life documentary, so I'm gonna need you to tell.
You always got me, brother. You know that. I'm just a phone call away.
Yeah, and then a book is gonna come along with the documentary.
You got to do that.
You're gonna get the double whammy.
Yes.
Right. I'm working with a water company right now as well called the Liquids Club.
Okay.
I have the water. I have the water. Hold on.
I know you was doing Oh, that's dope.
Got the water right here, and it's fresh. I ain't even open it. We got bottles.
Yeah, send some of that this way, bro. I know you was doing growing up hip hop for a little while. Would you go back and do it again?
Yeah, definitely will do it. But I want to do it on my terms.
Okay.
Meaning, I want my own story.
Yeah, and you control your narrative.
Yeah, right. I don't mind being with Bow. I don't mind that. That's my boy. I don't mind.
Right.
If he Bow want to share that light with me, cool. We can do it. I don't mind doing that. Right? But before a Bow Wow, before maybe any one of them, especially for the growing up hip hop New York, I'm probably older than all of the kids on the show.
And you truly
grew up in hip hop.
Yeah, you might not have had that world famous father, Run might not have been your daddy or none of that, but you truly grew up hip hop and around this culture.
And I'm thinking like this. Me and you can do it.
I would love to, bro.
Me and you could do it.
I would love to.
Real, you know what I'm saying? This is real hip hop shit. Like, why do I need Ja Rule to be my dad or my dad to be somebody of that stature for the person who's really living it and doing it to get the light?
Right.
That's wild.
That is.
Y'all come to my town and y'all jump around and y'all don't get the youngest vet, me? That's a slap in the face.
Yeah, you really truly did grow up hip hop, bro.
So now I'm like, you know what? And they gonna deny me then? What they gonna say?
They can't say nothing, bro.
What they gonna say?
Like you said, bro, me and you could stand on here and talk for hours and hours, man. I appreciate your time. I love you, man. I always have, always will. Anything you need from me, I'm always here for you, my brother. Yeah. And I got Brandy in another hour on the 104.3 Jams page. So y'all go to 104.3 Jams, 7 o'clock my time, which is 4 o'clock her time. Brandy got a new record out with Chance the Rapper. So we're going to talk about that. You could definitely, if you missed any part of this will be on my podcast, the Come On Son podcast. So you can catch this. I'm going to save it to my page anyway, so you can watch it anytime you want to. Just love you, man. I'm proud of the man that you turned out to be. My best to you all the time, bro. And with your sister doing your PR, I'm always just a phone call away. Y'all, that's Miss Call Her Simone.
Yes, Miss Call Her Simone.
Yeah, Call Her Simone. That's my daughter right there. And Justice sister, man. I love you. Best to the family, to your grandmother, to your pops, to everything, bro. Always. You know that we family.
Yeah, now I know. You know,
always.
I know.
My brother. Y'all give it up for my man, Mr. Level Kid, DJ Jus in the building. Yeah. Salute, King.
Yo, listen,
let's do this.
Yo, I love you. This part one. We got a whole lot more shit to talk about.
Absolutely. This is part one.
You know
Part one. All right, y'all. Peace out.
No doubt.